All right, guys, we are back for question number 3, session number 3, episode number 3 here with my man CJ. Last episode, if you guys listened, we talked about emotions, and we kind of drilled down to, as we framed it, men specifically just not being able to express themselves and allow their emotions to flow as they should, and just our lack of our ability to be authentic because of the pressures that we experience in the circles that we often find ourselves. And kind of as a segue and to kind of piggyback off of that concept, I really just wanted to talk now about vision.
Okay.
And the reason that I wanted to ask you about vision and the way that it kind of connects to the concept of just our inability to express our emotions is that the Bible says that where there is no vision, the people cast off restraints, the people perish. And what I've always learned, or what I've known about that scripture, some of which is just pure revelation, some of which I've learned from Miles Monroe. The idea about vision is vision has much to do with value.
Okay.
When we were talking on the last episode, you were saying about how fast time is flying and how some guys will sit on the video games all day and the day is gone and you've wasted it on video games. As you were saying that, I was hearing the brother that's doing that lacks value. They lack value in themselves. Because if I had great value in myself, I wouldn't be so susceptible to blowing a whole day playing video games.
Yeah.
I would be about something. I would either be bettering myself, I would be trying to better others, I would be investing in something, contributing to something. If I saw value in myself, then it wouldn't be so easy to waste my day away. It wouldn't be so easy to waste my time because I would value myself, thus I would value my time.
Yeah.
So I wanted to hear your thoughts on that, your thoughts on vision, your thoughts on maybe share your vision, share your thoughts on that scripture, or your thoughts on maybe why men lack vision, what's the root to men lacking vision, or how, if you don't have a vision, how can you develop a vision? Just flow naturally, organically. Any ideas and thoughts that you have on vision?
Well, I heard somebody say something that was kind of similar to the Bible verse.
Okay.
He said, vision without action is just a dream.
I liked it.
And then action without a vision is a nightmare.
Wow. Ooh. That's a heavy hitter right there.
Yeah.
That's heavy hitter.
So it's to have those visions that us men have, wanting to do things.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we could just admit it. Like, I mean, men are big teddy bears.
Oh, I see.
But at the same time, we're wanting to be strong. We're wanting to be there. We're wanting to do everything. We're wanting to do those things, and we think we can. In most cases, we can. But there is help that's needed. So, but for the vision thing, I think what men struggle with as far as vision is concerned, I don't think they know how to put it on paper. I don't think they know how to put this vision that they have in their mind to put it in something tangible,
right,
or able to see daily, able to connect to, something that they could revert back to. I don't think when they're writing down a vision, say for instance that they write down a vision, they don't know how to put it in the outline to finish the vision, to see the outcome. They don't take the time, whether it's them not taking the time to sit they butt down and say, hey, I need an hour to myself. Let me write these things down, to seek help from others, whether it be professionals, mentors, things like that, older folk, grandpa, just the littlest things that can be said that can change a mind.
Wow.
And just like the devil goes after our minds, because that's the only way he can get to us, because he can't get to God.
Right.
So he got to get to us in order for us to mess up God's plan. In order for God's plan not to go right, he needs to get to us.
Wow.
So we have to be able to know what's going on and see the whole bigger picture that, you know, it's such a thin line of us having to see, you know, do I need to better myself? And people can take that as selfishness
Oh yeah, 100%.
a lot of times.
Yeah.
And you have to be okay with that though.
Yeah.
You have to be okay with wanting to fix yourself, because you can't help nobody until you figure out yourself, until you help yourself. And I got that from you.
Yes, man. That's so true.
And it's just those things that we need to work on ourselves as men so that we can be the best version of us, to help other people, to be a great man, to be a strong man. So somebody can sit there and walk right past you and say, "Now, that's a strong man right there."
Right. That's what's up.
You know, that's something that I want someone to be like, "Hey, I just felt the love of God on you and don't even know me.
Right.
Do you think you could pray for me?" Something like that. You know, I would love to go through something like that. I would love to help someone like that, you know? And it's just, and for me not to be afraid to do it in front of people, you know, not to worry about how we gonna look real quick. That's what's wrong with men. The emotions inside. I don't the way I look.
I look, yep. Here.
So I don't know how I got it.
Oh,
It's
that's
the
good.
it's
Just
the
flow naturally. Yep.
but it's, I think the struggles that we have with vision, like we hear vision all the time, you know, we hear it all the time. And like, what's your vision on what you're going to do in the next 10 years, the next 5 years? We have so many visions in our head, you know, and we think, okay, we start one, and then we start another way, and then we start it. Nothing ever gets accomplished. So I think we need to have some sort of, you know, some sort of way of someone breaking it down and having the time to sit there and say, hey, this is how your vision should be, how it should be explained. This is how you can break it down. This is how you can get from point A to B, you know, something like that, to have some sort of guide for someone, for men who want to change. That's the thing, that want to change.
Want to change.
In order for them to okay, let me try it this way. Let me see if I really take the time out, because that's what I'm doing. I'm taking the time out away from all the pleasures that's in this world. I'm taking this time to engulf myself in the word, in all the knowledge that I can get to fulfill the purpose that I need to fulfill. And that's part of my vision that I see.
Right.
And because someone else doesn't see it, it kind of breaks you.
Yep.
Because you're having to please other people. You're wanting to not hurt this person. You're wanting to look out for these other folks. I gotta be there for them. So you have to make that choice, and it's hard. It's really hard, because it's not something against them. It's nothing against them. It's just the fact that the feelings that I feel, the emotions that I feel is strong, so strong that I just feel God tugging.
Wow.
There's something that I'm missing that I need to find out. And I'm not just going to let it go to waste. I'm not going to let it just pass by me and I'll be just another man. I just can't. There's something missing and I need to find out. Sorry you feel that way, but I got it. I got to do it.
Yep. Yeah, that's what it's required, man. That's what is required. That period of like healthy isolation, that healthy separation.
Yeah. That, and you know, people hear the things in the Bible, you know, it's not good for man to be alone. And those things in it, it's true, but you're not alone.
Right. It's the perspective you have of what that means.
I'm not alone.
Not alone.
Just working on this relationship.
And another thing, the amount of misconceptions or the amount of like stuff that's easy to pick up but hard to validate.
Okay.
So I can open up my phone and scroll, and within 3 minutes hear 100 messages about the Bible or about manhood or about vision, about anything.
Yeah.
people's opinion, because nowadays, if you have a phone, you're done.
Oh yeah.
Like, you are an expert. You have done the work. You obviously know what you're talking about. You cut the camera on, right? You obviously are an expert. You just recorded a video and you actually posted it. So what you're saying must be
True.
It must be truth. There's no way. There's no way it could be false. And so that's like easy consumption.
Yeah.
But it takes so much effort to challenge it. Okay, you said it's not good for man to be alone.
Mm-hmm.
The low-hanging fruit or the easy consumption, I don't have a spouse. The Bible says it's not good for man to be alone. I need to go get somebody.
Mm.
That's easy.
Yeah.
It don't take no thought. It's just, they said it, it must be true.
Yeah.
What's difficult is for you to open up the Bible and say, now, who said that? When did they say it?
Mm-hmm.
Who were they saying it to?
Yep.
What was the context of the conversation?
Yep.
When, in what era and time and culture setting was it said? What was the intended purpose for which it was said?
Yep.
And here is the kicker, the one that trumps it all. No matter what you find out with all of that research, God, does that align with me? Now that takes a lot of work. So 99.999% of people
Yes.
would rather just say, I heard it. Okay, it's truth.
Yep.
Because we got to go on with our next thing. We got to either keep scrolling, because we just never get tired of scrolling, or we have to go do other things. We can't, there's no time to pause and ponder and contemplate and work through and wrestle with and meditate in and pray through anything. No, because obviously we're so busy. We're all hustling. We are all on our grind, and we're all off to the next thing. Mm-hmm. And what I keep seeing is, but no one's happy.
Yeah.
We so busy, and we all do. ain't nobody. Again, I'm about to say this, and then I digress, because this was about you.
Nah, keep going.
If you were to ask 10 people, just look them in the eye. I mean, I challenge you, and listeners, if you're listening and you even care to do this, but if you were to take 10 people and look them in the eyes, because that's another hard thing. People don't like to look people in the eyes. Look them in the eyes and ask a very simple question. Are you happy? Now, obviously, if you're really brainy, you can be like, oh, well, in what context do you mean? We get all of that. No, you know what I'm trying to say. Are you happy with where you are in your life? Mm-hmm. And most, maybe 7 out of those 10, might even be higher, would not answer the answer directly. They would immediately default to explanation.
Yep.
They wouldn't be able to just give you a yes or no.
Yep.
They would rather avoid that level of contact with their own reality. Yep. They want to avoid that contact. Mm-hmm. So most will explain it away. Yeah. Someone else's fault, or someone did something to me, or I'm working through some stuff, or whatever. And then the other 2 to 3 people will, one will say yes, the other 2 will say no, but they'll say no with no, but I'm about to, or no, but I'm doing, they're in some sort of action plan. Mm-hmm. Yep. So you got the one that is like, yep, I am. And they are honest. The other 2, no, but hey, I got some sort of game plan here. Yeah. The other 7 will avoid that like the plague. Yep. It's just something about. It's like it's so okay for us to be busy or to be excuse oriented, but it's so not okay for us to be honest with where we are with the desire to do better.
Yep.
Like, I don't know why we avoid, I'm not happy.
So let's figure this out.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not.
See, so that's the thing. They're not taking that extra step as far as figuring it out as to why. They don't want to.
They don't want to know the why.
They don't want to. And that's I'm different.
Yeah.
I gotta figure it out
Yeah.
as to what you have a problem, or not even a problem. You've pretty much looked at me and said, you're a Christian and you believe in that stuff. You know, okay. And you don't believe in it. Okay, fair. That's
Right.
fair. Well, you know what? As a Christian, if I've gone this far, I need to find out. I'm not in that way, but I'm putting God to the test. And I'm saying, hey, you said this, and you said this. I believe it. So I got to put myself in that position to where I know that I'm here. I know that I'm here for you. I'm putting myself as in the best position possible to get these blessings that you said that you have for me. So, and just like you said, people take the Bible out of context when Jesus said, God said, don't put your God to the test.
Yeah.
And the context.
Right. Yep.
And, you know, I'm not testing him.
Right.
I'm believing in what he said. So I need to do what he's telling me to do. That's all. So it's just to break it down like that. I'm not here to, you know, necessarily please people because I can't do that. I can try to help make you happy. I mean, I could do things to make you happy, but then again, how long does that happiness last? You know, I want the unspeakable joy. I want the forever joy. I want to be able to have that mindset and to get rid of the habits that I need to get rid of, and to say that I did that. I was able to do that. That most people won't even try.
No. And I think it goes back to that, because I took some notes when you were talking. I think it goes back to a part of what we're going to need to do, just in and through this platform, is I just scribbled the notes: expose, educate, and empower. But when you're talking about that, them not wanting to, or then people have to want to change, and you know, they have to want to figure it out. The only reason you want to figure it out is because you think it's worth being happy. Like, you think your life is worth improving or feeling happy, or there's something missing. So you're going to find what's missing. That inherently expresses value. If you actually didn't care anything about yourself, you wouldn't go through so much work. You would accept your circumstances as they are.
Yeah.
The only thing that is pushing you to make any sort of change, man, is the fact that your soul is bearing witness to a value that you can't describe yet. A value that I don't think any of us can describe. But it's like what you're doing speaks of what you believe. Like, you believe that your life is like worth something. Whether you consciously admit that every day, it's like the soul is saying, matter, so I need to do these things. And I think from listening to what you're saying, one of the gaps, and I forgot to bring this up earlier because that was really how I desire to kind of start these conversations, was like, I believe they were all gap fillers. And we're all, you remember that, what's that, Hansel and Gretel, the little, I don't know if it was a make-believe or a cartoon. I'm trying to, like a fairy tale. It was the two kids, and they dropped breadcrumbs, and it was like a gingerbread house, or like a house or something where this witch was, or something like that. But the concept was like dropping little breadcrumbs for people to pick up, and if they followed the trail, they would get to the destination. And I think we all carry an element of that, because one of the things that I'm learning in this season is none of us are the answer, and none of us are literally the problem solver. What we're doing is we're dropping little breadcrumbs. It's like God issues us all a bag of breadcrumbs, or think of it like a loaf of bread. he gives, CJ, here's your loaf. Treveal, here's your loaf. And your loaf is what you have. And it's your gifting, it's your wisdom, your experiences, your expertise, it's your knowledge base, it's your perspective, it's all of the stuff that you got. And then like our job is to like figure out a way to enjoy the process of like pinching off bread throughout life and just like dropping it on the ground so someone else can like follow that trail to get back to the source. Like we're all on our journey to the source. I mean, God said, from me you came, to me you return. So it's a circular journey. We came from the source, God. We traveled through life, and at some point we return back to God. And it's like enjoying the little dropping of the breadcrumbs, because as you grow and you evolve, you're a little further than the person behind you. So just drop your little breadcrumb. And so that's how I envision us, right? So as you were talking, I'm like, you know, what is CJ's gap? Which is like, what's your most passionate, like, problem, or what are you most passionate about solving? Like the problem that you're most passionate about solving will sometimes point to the gap that you're looking to fill. Because the gap is, I'm the person that don't have any value. I don't care. So I'm on my video games all day long and I'm not trying to change. And their potential. Like they were created just like you and I in God's image and likeness. So they've got the same God-like stuff built inside of them. And they've got the potential, right? And so they're here and potential is here. Well, there's a gap. So what are you feeling? So when you feel the gap, it becomes like a bridge like that. And now they can get to that potential. So it's like a, what are you feeling? So as I was listening to you, it's like, well, they haven't been exposed to their value. Like they haven't been exposed to it. They literally don't know. They don't know that it exists. And even if they heard it once at the park, because we had church in the park one day and they were driving by and they heard it. And then they ran across your podcast 2 years later and they heard it. And then 2 years later, their mama and them said it on their way from church. They're hearing it, but it's so far and few between. And all the other times, they're hearing the voices in their own heads. And they're hearing the homeboys and the homegirls and the negative stuff on social media. And that's what's dominant. And then they get one breadcrumb every 2 years and it doesn't sustain them. You know, so it's like a part of maybe what we can be mindful of creating in and through this communication channel called a podcast is being really efficient at exposing our people to their value. And then educating them, you know, like you said, again, I'm taking everything from you. They don't know how to write it out and then structure it. How do you develop a plan? How do you develop an action plan? How do you develop a personal growth plan, you know? And these are things that we know how to do and we can pass on. And then to empower them. We empower them through the testimonies that we have, because we're not where we used to be. And then we can come alongside them in whatever ways God opens up doors for us to do so, to then empower them and show them ways that they can begin to do it. Because what I've learned through coaching and through mentoring and through counseling through the church is there's something so powerful. And again, I'm going to share that in the other episodes about conversations, because your answers are there. They're in there. They're in there. You, for whatever reason, and maybe God did it that way, because he's so intentional about us connecting with each other. You have a problem and there's an answer to your problem, and you can beat your head for years and never get the answer. You have one conversation with somebody. Light bulb comes on. They give you the answer. So that means that the answer has already existed. But it's like, and I'm not saying that's how God works. For anyone who's Christian and you're listening, I'm not saying that's how God works. This is Treveal's version of how I'm doing life with God and what makes sense to me. I'm not saying the Bible said it. It's like he holds certain things in, like he says certain things you won't get unless you enter certain things. Like certain answers, you're never going to get them until you get into a conversation with somebody.
Yep.
There are certain answers you're never going to get until you get into a community of people.
Yep.
There are certain answers you're never going to get until you connect with Christ.
Yeah.
There's certain answers that you're never going to get until you connect with, and certain answers you're never going to get until you get into. But if you notice, everything is like you're not going to get it until you connect with another person.
Yeah. Yep.
And so it's like there's certain things we'll never get until we have a conversation, or get into a community. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of how he designed it.
And that's what I mean by opening up. Like we as men, we have to open up ourselves to conversate with other men and to get involved in their lives, to see what can be changed, what can be helped.
Yep.
Those things are vital to us. Without a conversation, like how far would this world have gone? Things get reinvented and reinvented and reinvented and reinvented. It's the same things, but they keep getting better and better because men are like, they're conversating, they're building together. Now, who would have thought in our lifetime that we'd be basically almost where the Jetsons is about to be, where we fly in cars and stuff like that? Like, we're about to see that, which was once just a cartoon.
Yes.
Yes. That was a man's vision, and now it's turning into reality. And it takes courage. It takes courage to go out and invent these things and to hold your vision. It takes courage for that, and but in order for you to have courage, you also got to have fear, because without fear, there's no courage.
There you go.
So it's the courage. Yes, we feel that fear. Yes, we're going through it, but it takes courage for you to get through that fear and to accomplish what you need to accomplish, and to be the person who you need to be. That's where my main focus is. I'm taking courage. I'm taking this courage, and we pray about courage.
Yeah.
God, give us courage. We already have it.
Yeah.
We already have it.
Yeah.
It's in us already. Why are we asking? Yeah. There's certain things that, I noticed that we pray to God that we already have.
Yes.
We already have.
Yeah.
He's already equipped us with it. So we just have to be strong enough and be aware that we have these things and that we can do these things.
Cultivating that awareness.
I wanted to ask you though, about, I was reading something, I came across something in the Bible when John was saying, I need to decrease in order for him to increase. What does that mean to you?
To decrease so that he can increase.
Yeah. Is that more like I need to decrease the things in my life in order for him to increase in my life? I've been kind of going through that. I've seen it a few times already, and it's kind of it's just been stuck on my mind. And because John the Baptist, Jesus calls him the greatest man, pretty much. But I noticed out of all the people that God used, they were kings. They were rich.
Yeah.
These Abraham, to David. I mean, you name it. I mean, they had it. But John had nothing.
Yeah.
He had lived in the woods.
Man.
Ate berries.
Locusts and honey.
Locusts and honey.
Yeah.
Like, how would you be able to be a man of that character, do you think? Would you? I know I gave you a couple questions.
Yeah.
It was like, for God to call him,
Yeah.
you know, to give him that title.
Right.
And he had nothing.
Yeah. Well, I think number one, so let me start with the end. For him to be the greatest, but him to not have anything. I think that speaks of the inherent value that we have versus the perceived value that we have.
Mm.
So we live in a culture of everyone has inherent value.
Okay.
Because there is nothing, and I talk about this all the time under the I Am the Possible brand. One of the core principles that I teach people, there's nothing in this world that does not exist without inherent value.
Okay.
The only reason anything exists, the only reason anything was ever created, including us, was there was a problem.
Okay.
The only reason creation, and you spoke of earlier, innovation, the only reason there is creation and innovation is because there first exists a problem.
Mm.
So the fact that it is means value is, purpose is. It comes built in. Otherwise, it would not exist.
Yeah.
Period.
True.
So that's your inherent value. If you are alive, you got value.
Yeah.
Period. We may not know what it is, but that's a discovery process, but it's there.
Yes.
Now, the perceived value is what we have been given the freedom to create. Meaning, I was talking about Damon John earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Between FUBU and everything that he's done now, hundreds of millions.
Yeah.
Right? So in one context, he has great financial value.
Okay.
He is a brand unto himself, right? So you look at this man, his life is worth X.
Mm-hmm.
So people will look at him and give him additional value because of what he's created.
Yeah.
So if he were to walk in this room right now or walk in this building, there would be people that would recognize him, and they would be looking to take selfies, autograph, ask for a handout, or ask for advice, right?
Contact.
Right? Something.
Yeah.
Right? We looking for one of them four, right? A handout, a selfie, advice, or something, right?
Yep.
Now you and I walked in here and they just said, "Hey, good morning, how you doing? And here's your room."
Yeah.
Okay. So they didn't ascribe or associate or allocate additional value to us.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a paying customer, we're paying customers, but that's as far as our value go because that's what they perceive.
Yeah.
So there's the inherent, you got it, it's there, and then perception.
Okay.
Now, when I walked in the door, I could have been Kai Cenat, meaning I could be a YouTuber that you just ain't heard of yet.
Yeah.
And I could be like 4 million subscribers,
Yeah.
making a couple $100,000 a month.
Yep.
And I'm just passing through, so you the fastest one I could book. And I normally go to the Ritz-Carlton, but I'm just passing through West Covina because I'm visiting a loved one, and so I'm just using your space real fast.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know that. You don't know that. I could be.
Yeah.
On some low key, you don't know who I am.
Mm-hmm.
But the perception isn't there because you're not aware of it. So Jesus was aware of John's value. Both inherent, obviously. Jesus appreciates you as a human, obviously.
Yeah.
But John was also integral in the entry point of Jesus' ministry.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that was why he said it. I'm just pointing out what could have factored into it.
Yeah.
Because it was John who baptized. It was John who said, "Repent, for the kingdom." It was John who recognized Jesus from afar and said, "Here's the one I've been telling y'all about.
Mm-hmm.
The one I'm not even worthy to stoop down and lace his sandals.
Yeah.
Here he is."
Mm-hmm.
So there's so many different things. It was in that water, in that moment, where the Holy Spirit descended upon Jesus and the voice from heaven says, "This is the Son in whom I'm well pleased." Like John was there, dude.
Yeah.
He was integral in that moment. So maybe, it was that Jesus was just aware of something that we weren't aware of. And maybe that moment in that water, during that baptism, during that exchange, maybe something on a whole different level that none of us are even aware of today that happened that would cause Jesus to give him that level of respect. So that's my off the cuff, ain't did no research, just answering your question the best I can. So, but I could be wrong. I have no idea. I have no idea, dude. Like that's what I got. So, yeah.
What do you think he meant by that, though? By the I must decrease in order for him to increase.
I think that we could take it as, which I think is the wrong way to take it. Let me start with that. I think we as Christians could take that as it's all about Jesus. I'm nothing. My life is to only reflect Christ. My life is to only be as a sacrifice. I am to give all that I have. I am to be a martyr. I am to be poor so that he may be rich. Basically this whole movement of how small can I shrink myself? How nothing can I become to myself so that Christ might be glorified? The reason I have a problem with that concept, it would do away with God's creativity.
Okay.
Why would he create such variety?
Yeah.
None of us look the same.
That's true.
None of us think the same.
Yeah.
None of us want the same. None of us feel the same. There's nothing about none of us that's the same. True. Even paternal twins are not the same. So why would a amazing, beyond our imagination level of amazing God, this is just my reasoning. I could be wrong. This is just my reasoning. Why would God say, I'm going to plaster this earth with a million combinations of life? Like you got, I can't even start to name.
Yeah.
Black, white, African, Hispanic, Chinese, Japanese, yada, 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 yada. Yeah. But, thus saith the Lord, I want all of you to shrink everything about you so that you can become like Yahshua. Just, you got to become like him. Like, this is the epitome of anything that means anything. Your skin, forsake it. Your personality, forsake it. Your natural giftings, forsake it. Your desires, forsake it. Your natural bends and tastes and talents, forsake it. Your culture, forsake it. Your societal influences, forsake it. Your traditional, heritage, all of that. First, like it to me, it blows my mind to think that some of us actually believe that our job is to forsake everything about who we are to become like Yahshua, to become like Christ, to become like Jesus. Christ to me, and I know if I'm in certain rooms, I'll be executed for this. I'll be time for you to go. Yes, I believe that Jesus walked the earth. But I think the conformity to Christ is an internal work alone. Meaning the Christ is something that we are to become more and more and more and more and more conscious of and accessible to and an embodiment of and a yielded vessel to as you. Totally as you. Okay. Meaning, when you, as we say, were born again and Christ became the head of your life, as we say, and we became followers of Christ, as we say, for me to do, or for me to become less, for me means for me to become less of anything and everything that was never me in the beginning, or was never me to begin with. When CJ was born, CJ came into an environment called the earth, or the world realm. The minute you were born to now, you have suffered great drama and trauma along the way. Some huge and some micro traumas, but you've experienced them from things people have said to you, done to you, exposed you to, things you saw, things you witnessed, things you've done, things you said, things you saw. All of that over all your years has shaped you to be who you are. The way I look at it, and again, I could be wrong, but for me to become less so that he can become more, for me to decrease so that Christ might increase, the consciousness of Christ might increase. For me, it means that I am to, in partnership, in consciousness, in awareness of God and Christ, to allow what I know about Christ to continue to increase, and anything that was never me to begin with to continue to fall off, thus becoming less. It's not CJ, the authentic, true you, self, capital S self, the real you, the God like you, the image God like you, the created in my likeness and my image God like you, extension, expression of God like you. That you, the essence, perfect. You are perfect. What's not like Christ is all of the alterations that you had to go through since the time you've been born. Those things help to shape your story, your theology, the way that you do life. But there are certain things that they were just never, and they still aren't, who you originally were and who you ultimately will be. But you picked them up along the way. So, in a very practical way, just think of it just as a very simple way, because I said a lot and I might have lost, some people. Think of it as if you go on a trip and you forget your luggage. Let's say you're running out the door and you forget your luggage. And you forget everything that you were going to take. So because you still got to go, like you're already on your way to the airport. Once you get to the airport, like, I forgot my luggage. I don't have my toothbrush. I don't have the X, Y, and Z. What you would normally do is you would purchase those things. You would acquire those things. But you would get the kind that you don't need long term. You would just get them to fulfill the trip. Once you fulfilled the trip and you got back home, well, now you got your real toothbrush. Well, you can toss the used one. You got your big mouthwash. Well, you can toss the travel size one that you got at the airport little convenience store. Basically, you picked up a lot of stuff to just make it through, to get through the trip, to just survive. It wasn't what you needed. It really is not yours. You don't want it long term, but you need to get through the trip. But when you get back home, and I'm holding up air quotes for those who are listening, when you get back home, and really that shouldn't even be the air quotes. The air quotes should have been for the travel piece. But when you make it back home, which is back with Christ, well, now I got everything I need. So I don't need to hold on to the stuff I picked up during the journey. I only had it during the journey so I could make it through, so I could survive. And in life, when we're born, we do all of these alterations to survive. But once we become awakened to the Christ consciousness, to Jesus, to the way, well, now I can travel light, as Jesus taught his disciples. Travel light, homie, because you got everything. You ain't got to take so much luggage with you no more. You used to carry all of that stuff because you were so afraid that you would be without. Well, now you rocking with me. You don't need to fear having without. You got everything you need more. So now you can travel light, dog. So that's the way I look at it. It's like decreasing so he can increase, just starting to shed the skin that was never yours. Shedding, offloading the luggage that you picked up only to make the trip called life with. And the closer you get to the Christ, the closer you get to the end, the closer, and that's why now I'm speaking as a 48-year-old man, the closer and the older I'm getting, the less I need. There's this spiritual awakening of like, I don't need as much anymore. That's why we're having that conversation before we hit record. I'm like, let's shrink it down, dude.
Yeah.
All this. Man, that's for the young folk.
Yeah.
I just need one thing, you know? So I hope that makes sense, man.
It's
a long explanation.
That whole analogy, that's great.
Yeah.
That was perfect.
Yeah. Dumping that stuff off.
Yeah, because we do take in a lot throughout this journey. So take other people's influence, words and opinions.
Yep.
And it kills us.
Yeah.
Slowly kills us. So yeah, it's life is a process. That's for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, this has been good. This has been great conversation. Yeah, man, we're going to continue this. So we're going to wrap it up for now, but we will definitely be back in the future, man, as we continue to shape this thing and put some legs to this thing and figure out a nice flow for us to continue to have these conversations. But we certainly want to continue to expose our people to truth concerning themselves, continue to educate and edify, and then we want to continue to empower. So that was just taken from these notes here, man. So thank you so much, man, for joining me on this one and sharing your wisdom and your growth and your advancement, man. So
appreciate you.
This has been beautiful to see, man.
Appreciate you too, man.
All right, we're going to continue this thing.
Yes, sir.
Until next time. All right.